And good morning, it's your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and today we are flying the Westwall battles. Thought I'd take out the KI 94-2 and we get a chance to see what this thing can do and how these battles are progressing. I've heard of a lot of anger coming out over this. And your thoughts are welcome, and see what you think. Right now, from what I can tell, the contest seems very heavily weighted on the defense side of this, and why that is, I don't know. I have played about 9-10 games, and I will tell you that I have lost one defense game in all that time, and I have yet to win an offense game on that side. And some of them have been very heavily weighted against us. I walked in with my XFU5 and found that I was the only me and one other fellow were the only tier 8 in the group. You can imagine how that turned out.
Good luck.
I actually did shoot down a couple of jets, but that was ugly. A little disappointing, to be honest. And that was when we were on the attacking side, captured a couple of airfields, and then we were just out of aircraft. But I don't know what everybody else's experiences are. It's very hard to tell when you are one guy playing it.
Show me what you can do, pilots. Let's roll.
Alright, so we've helped get rid of one of the attacking aircraft. Very hard to attack when you ground attack aircraft when you have a high flyer above you. They always feel like this. Wow. Always feel like you're shoulders are crawling up between your ears. That wasn't the best move you could have made. Nothing like being scissored when you have no reason to be scissored. We're not deploying our aircraft to the best of our abilities. Not much I can tell you right now. So I will tell you one part that some of the bitching and moaning I'm hearing. Folks, if this is what's going on, far as I'm concerned, the only people you have to blame is yourselves. We sit here fighting over one base, and we're not getting a whole heck of a lot of help. And I am at almost 10,000 feet, and I'm still nowhere near that guy. Okay. Still, there are, in this mode, it looks to me like this is still very heavily weighted for the defense, because you tend to be fractured when you're on the offense. And the defense always seems to have a very coordinated, and that's a game function, by the way, be very coordinated and very whole during the whole situation. And they have now, well, they've run out of time.
Great job today. We'll be waiting for you back home.
So, yeah. Okay. I've played enough now to form an opinion, and the way this works is the defense is always going to have a fairly significant advantage. The defense, I should say here, and make sure I'm saying that correctly. And the offense has a real hard time. I've lost exactly one defensive game in all this time. I don't know what everybody else's experience has been. I have not won an offensive game side on this even once. That's okay. This is the first time out for them with a new mode, folks, and I would argue to everybody, look, you've got new modes coming out. God knows we've needed them. I'm not that pleased with the balance on this, but I'm very pleased with the effectiveness. It just needs more balancing out. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Okay. I'm a little bit miffed at the sheer number of 9s that I'm seeing out here when you try to play a tier 8. I mean, it's just, wow. I mean, about a 8s are about a tier, about a third of the battle. And that may just be the distribution of time I'm playing. But it's very hard to compete with Tier 9 aircraft. It's supposed to be, right? But that's not very good. But I am very pleased to see different modes come out. They need to balance them more. That's a fact. They need to stop balancing out their tier. When you get something this heavily Tier 9 and you're playing a Tier 8, that's not good. Okay, it's just not good. It really doesn't put a good taste in your mouth when you get, something flying past you at 100 miles an hour, laughing all the way, playing Boom and Zoom. That's tough enough to deal with at your own tier, let alone a tier higher. But they need some adjustment on this one. You guys, if I was to make a suggestion in World of Warplanes, need to take a look at your offensive versus defensive operations and adjust accordingly. There's a reason your players are hollering. And I've played this now enough that, I don't want to take a ground attack aircraft because I'll be on the offensive side. And I know darn well how it'll turn out. I'll also tell you that as I played this morning, 4 or 5 games now, that I have been in there with very few Tier 8 aircraft. I'm usually operating against Tier 9s. And that's fine to a point, but I better start seeing a multiplier when that's the case. Okay? That's all I've got to say about it. All right, so bottom line is that this is a fun game. These are good modes. They need some balancing out. What you could say, I was super pleased by it. I am super pleased to see new modes coming out. We need to pay more attention to balance. And that's, there's... if you're guaranteed that you're on the offensive and you always lose, well, that reminds me an awful lot of the Skies of Albion, right? Where if you wanted to lose, all you had to do was pick the Axis. Am I a big fan of Nazi Germany at the time? No. But I am a big fan of game balance. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. Listen, folks, your thoughts, your comments are very important to me. I promise you they do get noticed. So feel free. This is your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and I'm out.